what does a flower have to do with prepping somebody?
Okay, well, I think that's why I'm here, right? Is
Yeah.
that part of my
Yeah.
job? Okay.
That's what we're paying you
First off,
for.
I do also. Oh, wait, I'm getting paid for this?
In
Hold
love.
on.
In love by your husband.
Oh, okay.
In love.
Okay. Okay. Now, as Miss and Mrs. Prep and Patriot, I have to tell you that I'm probably the person that Cam had to convince the most about why
Oh,
we should
that's
have
true.
certain flowers in the garden, why certain things should happen, right? So I was the person he had to convince all the time. Now, the first one that we started with was marigolds.
Hmm.
So that was the first one because he told me. He said, "Listen, so where we are not in the country, like we're not in the city. We're kind of in the in between. So we get
Suburban.
deer.
Suburbs.
Yeah. Is that what we call it? I don't know.
Yeah.
So we get deer.
Suburbia.
Wait,
Sorry. Go
listen.
ahead.
Okay. Don't ask me north, south, east, west. I don't know. Where's Target? I can tell you that. Um, but he said we get deer, we get rabbits, we have coyotes. Like we have all sorts of animals out here that we have to protect our hard work in our garden. And I was like, okay, whatever. So we started with marigolds. Now, we went overboard with marigolds. So I know that Cameron has talked about his cement blocks that he uses for planting. So in every single one of those squares in a cement block, we planted at least one marigold seed. We did not know that they were going to just explode. Like it
Mm-hmm.
was marigold central. So they were
It did.
beautiful. I will tell you. Go ahead.
I was going to say, and the one other thing to keep in mind though is when we planted them, we did it for the idea of just keeping out deer and rabbits, but we didn't really think it through on how big are these going to get compared to the things that we're actually harvesting. So the potatoes over on this side and the tomatoes over on this side. When you plant marigolds that are only going to get to 6 to 10 inches tall versus the other side of the garden where you're planting marigolds that get 18 to 24 inches tall, it kind of gets in the way of you actually gardening and getting that accomplished. So
That was
just
my
want to add
question.
that piece in there.
And that was my question. And Cam, you answered like, what's a marigold? I get it's a type of flower, but you just mentioned like some marigolds they grew to 6 inches and others grew to like 18. Is that
Yeah, that's
they
a
just
thing.
randomly
That's a
grow
real thing.
different lengths or?
I can't
Different
remember
kinds.
what they were called. Do you remember what?
Incan something or other. I'll get while Mrs. Preppin Patriot talks, I'll pull up what we purchased. But yeah, it's just like you have your apples and your pears and your peaches. You got different varieties of everything. Same thing for flowers. If you want yellow versus orange versus whatever, but there's also your petites, which is your tiny ones that go, and then all the ones to it was like Mayan or Incan or something like that. And those suckers were huge. I mean, they were literally 18 to 24 inches, and they went up as tall as our potato plants, which, as you know, get super, super tall when they're greening out.
So these things, they keep stuff away.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Rabbits,
that makes sense.
deer.
Okay, that makes sense because I know, like in my garden, when I actually get around to it and it stops raining and all that stuff, like I'm gonna have like an electric, I'm doing to keep the deer out. I'm doing an electric fence. I'm doing all kinds of stuff. But I guess if we're in like a grid down scenario where there is no more power because the sun unleashed hell on earth, for us, I guess it makes sense that to have the knowledge to, okay, deer are still gonna be here when this stuff goes down, so you got to have a way to protect those crops, and putting up a simple fence isn't going to work because they can jump pretty darn high, and you could put up like, I don't know, unless you have access to like 12-foot fencing that you want to wrap around your garden, but most people don't, so that makes sense. So marigolds keep deer away. Is that because of the scent, because of the
The smell.
smell?
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't smell good. Like they are a flower that they don't smell good.
Are there any
Now,
other? Are there any other?
And that's what
do they
Jamie.
have any other purposes?
They
I mean,
do
they
have
do look
medicinal
pretty.
purposes as well.
Okay.
They do look pretty, yes,
Mhm.
yes. But there is a medicinal purpose. So that was another learning curve that I had. And we didn't get to fulfill that because I messed up learning, right? But you harvest the seeds from marigolds. So you let them dry. So you pluck all of them and you let them dry and then you pluck the flower petals off, which will leave you with the seed. Like, and the seeds are long. They're ridiculously long. Um, and then you can turn those things into teas. You can turn them into, different pastes to help with different wounds. So marigolds have a lot of medicinal benefits as well. So that was one of the things we're like, well, maybe we can try a tea, or maybe we can try, you know, let's see if it works as some kind of an antibacterial thing. Or while we still have the capability that if that didn't work, okay, we actually can go get an antibacterial ointment from the closet, no big deal.
Hey guys, thank you for stopping by and checking out the Preppin Patriots YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this short, you can go ahead and click here to watch the full live show episode.